Is Mass Effect Andromeda really such a bad game after all? Now this video is going to contain spoilers at points, I want to say that, but I want to answer that ultimate question because a lot of people are giving Andromeda a really hard time at the moment, and I want to give a more objective and fair analysis that takes everything into consideration. So if you are looking for a proper analysis of the game that is unbiased as possible, you found the right place, so sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. So first off, I'm going to address the elephant in the room that everybody must be thinking of, the facial animations. That's all anybody is complaining about or saying anything about the game right now. Mass Effect facial animations, Mass Effect bad facials, all sorts of lewd and terrible things. It's just, I don't think the facial designs are actually as bad as people are thinking, but I will give some fair criticisms because there are points in the game where it's a little bit over the top. However, at other points in the game, it's actually really well designed, and the voice acting behind it really establishes likable characters. There are some very forgettable voices in the game, don't get me wrong, but this is mostly saved for side characters. I enjoyed the male and female Ryder and also the squad mates that we got to meet. A lot of people complained about the first sections of the game being boring, but I personally like the amount of development and lore you got to learn before you get into the situation. Mass Effect is one of those games, in my opinion, that doesn't just throw you into 5 minutes of action, but it likes to give you some kind of understanding of what's going on. The character controls are really flawless this time around, especially with the ability usage and the new upgrades to your suit which allow you to jump across the environment and even hover. All of this seems to have been packed into the game really well. Instead of it just being thrown on, it was developed from the core, you can tell. There's a new system for powers called primers and detonators as well. An ability like Singularity will act as a primer holding the enemy up in the air, and if you use a detonator ability such as throw, it will do additional damage. We have lost the ability in this game, however, to use our squad mates' abilities at our own discretion. So people who are familiar with the older Mass Effects, you could take control of your squad's ability usage yourself to set up the combinations you wanted when you wanted them. But now it seems the AI have been left to completely automated control of their powers. I will just say that is kind of annoying. I liked having full strategical control, especially considering the human aspect can never be replaced by an AI. But I will say, on the fair side of things, it does seem like they've made drastic improvements to the AI, and your squad mate actually does feel useful. The strongest point BioWare made in the previous games was the story and how you can affect the world. So the story of Andromeda, as most people will know, has set us up in a really interesting way. We're part of the Andromeda Initiative, which started between the Mass Effect 2 and 3 games. This was because of the Reapers, and it was a last-ditch effort to save the species of all the alien races on the Citadel, just in case Commander Shepard failed their goal. Surprise, surprise, the new world which was scanned didn't turn out to be as habitable as it was first deemed, and there's also some form of hostile alien life on there. I don't want to get too deep into plot spoilers here, and I will just leave it at that, but it seems like the initial premise really sets us up for an interesting elaboration. I'm actually really looking forward to seeing where this goes, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm getting a little bit of Halo vibes from this. I really like this direction, and I'm looking forward to finding the history of another galaxy. What happened to that? Did a similar system to the Reapers get created? What is going on? It's just a really good story going there. The character dialogue is a little bit spotty at times. It can be bad, cringy, and just outright campy, but it can also be really engaging too. I especially like your dad as a character. He's got a really good voice actor, and they did do well on his facial designs in my opinion. It's not the best, but I'm not looking for A-star quality facial design. That's not what a game's just supposed to be about. I can criticize it when it is horrid, but at the same time it's not going to be a central focus. and his characters was designed well. The environments in Andromeda should really feel familiar to earlier players of the series. There's a lot of linear environments where you're contained indoors with multiple pathways through, but ultimately they lead to the same place. However, the outside has been expanded massively. There are lots of open plains and ways to cover across them, and also the Mako this time is really robust. It doesn't get stopped by anything at all. Supplement this with your character's ability to jump jet across the environment and hover, and you can see how much effort has been put into making it so you can flawlessly move around the environment and explore as you please. All in all, I think there's many criticisms to be made with Mass Effect. Mostly it is the cheesy dialogue, and there is also the facial animations. There seems to be a bunch of bugs such as T-pose model bugs happening, which I'm sure will get patched in quickly, but overall I do think it's a game worth putting some time into, and I hope I may have changed your mind with this. I know there's a lot of issues at hand, and I'll be covering BioWare closely to see if they have any plans to alleviate the bugs with a day one patch. However, guys, just give it a few days before you make a judgment. I do think the flaws that we are seeing at the moment are overblown, and I just think people like to ride that hype and hate train, to be honest. But anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. I put a lot of effort into thinking about all of these points and watching the game and trying to remain as objective as possible. Thank you as always for watching. If you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button. Have a beautiful day, take it easy, and peace.